Big Baz again. We're at a time where gearing alts, new or old, is easier than ever. A lot of you are choosing the warrior class, or in many cases, the Fury warrior specifically. But then you come to the shocking realization that it sucks. Or does it? The typical scenario: you've hit level 100 with your Fury warrior, and you've collected all your Baleful loot, and you're sitting around 690 to 700 item level. So you've decided to start doing some pugs, doing a couple of raids, and then you notice your DPS is quite low. Casting aside user error for a second, maybe I can tell you why. So there's one thing that is certain about Fury Warriors in Walls of Draenor, more than pretty much possibly any other class, is that the warrior requires the tier set bonuses to do good DPS. And I'm not just talking about the tier 18 from Hellfire Citadel. In fact, more specifically, I'm talking about the tier 17 from Blackrock Foundry. Mostly because it's fairly easy to acquire for these Baleful guys who are struggling to get into the Hellfire Citadel groups, for example. And also because it's amazing. And I can tell you why. So let's take a quick look at the set items. The 2 set bonus, Raging Blow critical strikes have a 20% chance to activate in rage. And the 4 set bonus, while Recklessness is active, your critical strike chance and attack speed is increased by 6% per second. So the buff is known as Rampage with the set bonus, and it lasts 15 seconds. So that's 60% increase on your critical strike chance and your attack speed by the end of the Recklessness, which ends at 10 seconds. Now the main difference here is that the basic Recklessness provides just 30% critical strike chance to your active abilities, while the Rampage bonus is a flat out crit buff. That means it's a critical strike buff to everything. That means that combined with the attack speed bonus that it's providing, it's giving you amazing rage generation through your auto attacks and an increase in sudden death procs. So going back to the 2 set bonus, the free and rage procs also provide you with another use of Raging Blow. So that means you're replacing Bloodthirst with more Raging Blows. So you've got more rage, you've got more Raging Blows, and you're spending less time pressing Bloodthirst, which does no damage. So this is increasing the amount of benefit you're getting from these big burst periods like Bloodlust and like Recklessness itself, because you are spending more time pressing the big hitting attacks. You go through all this together and you can imagine that the burst DPS during Bloodlust is going to be impressive. And it really is impressive. But I'm not going to just sit here and talk about it, I am going to show you too. So here we've got a Iron Reaver kill on Heroic that I did with my guild some time back. It was the first week where we looked like we had enough legendary rings in the group to kill the boss fast enough that we could kill him without an AF phase. So around 2 minutes and 20 seconds ish to kill the boss. So I decided based on the fact that we were either going to kill it in 2 minutes 20 seconds and I was going to do a lot of DPS, or we were going to get an AF phase and whatever. I decided I'm just going to use the tier 17 bonus instead of my tier 18. So put the tier 18 back in the box, put the tier 17 on. This is the 685 tier 17, this is not the mythic, the 685 heroic. So it dropped my average item level down to quite low, 706 at the time. But most importantly, it gives me access to the Rampage 4 set bonus, which on a short duration fight is incredible. Looking at this fight, the damage meters are not shown for the fight during the fight, but if you look at the damage meters at the end of the fight, I'm coming in at just over 78k on recount, which is 80k on Warcraft logs, as it turned out. And you can see that the other warrior on the meters is down at 59k. It was important to note that this is not a skill difference. There's no difference in the skill. The other warrior is more than my equal as a player. And it's not a gear issue either. The gear was roughly the same, other than the fact that he was running the tier 18 heroic, I was running the tier 17. So this is a textbook example of the strength of this tier 17 bonus on a short fight, and indeed on any fight where strong burst is preferred. Any specific moment in a fight where massive burst is required, or massive burst is provided, like for example Go Fiend, when you got the feasts, this is where the tier 17 is very powerful, and it can outweigh a massive item level difference on these items. But what happens, you might ask, if we increase the gear level further and then compare the sets? A more extreme example. Well, my guild no longer kills Iron Reaver Heroic, but here's a Mythic Butcher kill in a Steamroll fun run that I did recently. And the kill time would line up fairly closely to Iron Reaver Heroic if we were to do it today. Again, the same two warriors of similar gear level, similar skill level, on a short duration single target fight. But this time, we've got some mythic gear and our heroic gear is much further optimized. But again, I'm running the tier 17, 685, tier 17, with my average sitting at item level 711. While the other guy is running his full tier 18 set. So what we find is the difference actually becomes even larger, and the shorter fight plays even more in favour of the tier 17, with over 30k difference between the two. This is not, of course, to discredit the use of the tier 18 bonuses, because there are many scenarios where the tier 18 is untouchable, where multiple uses of recklessness in a fight can be amazing. Comrock is a perfect example of that. What I am trying to highlight though is that the importance of set bonuses for the Furry Warrior. To the up and coming Baleful geared heroes, I highly recommend you delve back into the Blackrock Foundry and pick up those tier 17 bonuses, drop the Baleful bits, and trust me when I say that you will appreciate the reward of dropping the item level of those 695 Baleful items for the 685 Blackrock Foundry tier. I'm Big Baz. If you have any questions or suggestions, then leave a comment or pop over to the MMO Champion Warrior forums. Oh, and feel free to subscribe. Thanks, bye.